Being an entrepreneur is suffering a lot. Did you learn to enjoy the suffering?
Sometimes no. But 1989, I used to make printed t-shirts, and then I would go to the factories and then put it in my station wagon. Everyone there would buy it from the boot.
Did you have ambition to build this landmark known as ODEL in Colombo?
I believe in this dream big, but a lot of people do that and they miss the smaller steps. I was doing a lot of things, but not really making an impact in any one area. I always say start small, and it's okay to start small.
Scaling down doesn't necessarily mean I failed at something.
It's all about adjustment and change. Embark started in 2007. It started because we found this pub down the road.
Oh, I've seen the billboards of Nico. That was the face of the brand.
Since my childhood, my intention was always to do something working with animals. We need to stop thinking of ourselves as superior. All beings live happily, greater happiness and wealth for us too.
Otara Gunewardene, welcome to the podcast. Did you miss Sri Lanka when you were in university? Obviously outside of family, did you have a yearning for just everything about Sri Lanka?
A little bit, but not much really, because I think when you're in your late teens and early 20s, you're just in a different mindset. So
fair enough. Fair enough. So how long were you there actually?
4 years. Yeah.
So you finished your.
But I loved it. It was so much fun.
Yeah. So you finished your education. You come back to Sri Lanka. Did you come straight back to Sri Lanka?
Yeah.
And then you were because you studied biology there.
Yeah.
And then you come back, and then you decide to start a business with. Yeah,
well, that was not the plan because I was already I had started modeling, and then I was very interested in that, and that was also great fun. It was wonderful actually. So I was modeling, and then I always had the intention to go back, and I thought maybe I will. But then, once you come to Sri Lanka, it's you get
you get kissed by the sun.
Yeah, you get so attached, and and then I was modeling, and then I did this sort of side business of selling t-shirts and printing t-shirts and selling them, and I also did complimentary items. I used to supply companies with printed t-shirts and mugs and things like that. So a lot of different things. And then I was an aerobic instructor. And,
no way.
So, when you're young, you do lots of different things. And I think it's so important to do that. And then this one worked. Selling clothes.
That's so awesome. I like that you tried every possible thing that, but tell me about the modeling stuff. Because at Sri Lanka at that time, did we have agents?
No, there were no agents. So it was really, actually, it was really big. We had a lot of shows, especially huge, fashion shows, really big, and big productions and big events, all the time. And then everything was direct. You would get the call directly from an agent, from ad agency or from the people and ones who know you. And that's how it worked. And I was very busy with that, and it was so much fun as well. It was a really good group of people around, and both models and designers. And
it seems fun. When I look at the photos, I'm like, that seems like a good time.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have a lot. I don't have any almost videos because obviously it was a time with no phones. And if it was now, of course, I would have loads of videos, and but I mean I do have some photos, but even the photos were it was a process, right? Somebody has to come with the big camera and the lights.
Fair enough.
So
have you seen those interesting videos on the internet where people just put photos through AI and it looks kind of real, and you're like, oh, but I mean you would know because you're like, that's not how I walked. Sorry.
Actually, I should try that now.
That would be really fun. Okay, so that's the clothing thing I'm really intrigued about, because for me it's in Sri Lanka you have to always find a way, right? If you have an idea, you have to figure out step 1 to 10. It's not like somebody's going to hand it over to you. And these were the clothing that you were selling from the boot, because everyone knows the story. The boot of your car, you're in this wagon, you're selling these, but these were clothes that you would like kind of find from different manufacturers a part of their surplus, or like how did you?
So at that time it was two things. One was I used to make T-shirts, like printed T-shirts, and then I would go to the factories and buy the surplus, because that was also the time where the garment industry was really starting to grow, and there were so many brands and products being made here, and then the factories didn't know what to do with the excess, and so it was very early days, really. And that was how it began. So I used to go and collect the things and then put it in my. I had like a really old station wagon, and so I used to put it in the back and then go for my rehearsals, like the fashion show rehearsals, and then obviously they would come. Everyone there would buy from the booth, you know, like, and they would come and check it out and see what's there, and there was always very interesting stuff. And then I used to also do wholesale to other sort of very small shops in Sri Lanka at the time. I used to sell like bulk, you know, like 50 of these, 20 of these, 10 of that, like that.
So good.
And then I would drive around and deliver them and write in my notebook how many I gave.
Did you have a business card at that?
Yes, I did actually.
What did it say?
I have that. I have it, and I think I shared it recently on one of my TikToks.
Oh, interesting.
It said Odell Fashion. Odell Fashion, and it had the head of a woman, and then it evolved to being funnily enough, it evolved to being like a sketch of a lady and like a very fashionable looking lady and a dog. And during that time, there was absolutely no intention or idea to start Embark or anything about Embark. It's funny how that happens. And so I actually have those two cards.
Was it an easy sell so obviously like starting a business means like you going out there, meeting with these manufacturers and saying, hey, you know, I know you have this surplus. Was it a hard sell for them to be like, yeah, sure, we'll give you the surplus? Because I'm sure there were other people looking at the time, or were you the only one?
No, when I started, it was they were kind of desperate to give the stock away because they didn't know what to do with it, and nobody else knew what to do with it either. Like nobody had started to think, oh, we can actually get those and have sell them, and so they're actually very grateful that I was coming to take it.
So
a lot of them used to just give it, and then I would, which is also how the cash flow was kind of helped, because they would give it and then I would sell it and then pay them.
That's
so
amazing.
Of course, as the years evolved, it was like then a whole different ball game of having to fight to get them, and then of course we moved out of stock lots.
Fair enough. And then the t-shirt printing stuff, were you actually doing like the actual
screen prints? Yeah.
Wow. Because that's
not us. I mean, I didn't have it personally, but we used to outsource it and get it done. And then of course it evolved to the monkey and the elephant, the crocodile. A lot of people recognize it, the black and white sketches. And those were like really popular.
It's
and
iconic.
I think they're still popular today.
Absolutely. It holds core memories for people too, right? That's like either it's a visit to Sri Lanka or your childhood at the same time. So you started at that point, obviously the business was doing really well. ODEL you started that into 19...
It was around 88, 1989, around about there.
Okay. And then did you have ambition to like build this, landmark known as ODEL in Colombo, or was it just like, okay, let me just start off a store somewhere?
Yeah, it was just, it was very organic, like first it was the shop and the car, then, obviously, and the wholesale, and then that was doing really well. And, then it was like, oh, I can maybe start a really small place. And because then everybody wanted a place to come, and then, so it was, really small. And so that was then, to do that, but never really the intention of, I always had the intention to, every day almost, to do this and that and this better and that better. And, but never, okay, at that time you don't see it as being, like this massive department store and many stores, and but of course it evolves, you know, as time goes.
Because you look at the impact of what you've had in terms of number one, with the company itself being, you know, going public. Did you know at the time that you were the first female?
At that time, because there wasn't also a fashion sort of a retail business that had gone public, and So, and of course, I had no intention or idea that it was going to happen or it will happen again. It just, you know, evolves as the business grows and things progress.
This is where I'm like really curious, right? Because we're all, I mean, we have so many entrepreneurs today, people taking steps, and they all have like really large dreams of like, I want to do this and I want to take it here. But what you're saying is you were just focusing on your daily bread, right? You were just like taking one step at a time as opposed to even like envisioning the full picture.
I mean, I think there's a balance between, you know, of course I believe in this dream big and, you know, have big goals, but a lot of people do that sometimes and they miss the smaller steps that you have to take along the way, and they go too far down, you know, on the big dream, and then, you know, you face a lot of challenges, a lot of issues that you don't expect.
Yes.
And so I always say start small, and it's okay to start small, and then, you know, just take your time and then, you know, grow. Because this whole sort of rush to be at the, you know, end goal of this something big, and people rush through that, and a lot of investment, and you know, if something doesn't work, and which is very possible in many cases, because it's also, you have to learn and you have to understand, you know, how your brand, how your business, how your everything evolves as well, and you have to always adjust along the way. So when you're at that very sort of big, very sort of extra, you know, where you have really expanded and invested a lot, it's very hard to adjust.
Yeah,
because then, you know, you've already spent a lot of money, and
Did you learn to? Because I mean, for me, I believe being an entrepreneur is suffering a lot.
Yeah, it is actually.
Did you learn to enjoy the suffering? Is the question.
Sometimes no. Yeah, it is. I wouldn't say suffering. It is fun. It's wonderful, but it does come with a lot of stress and a lot of. If I know today, like if I know a lot of things of how to manage, you know, my inner self and inner thoughts, and what I know today, it would have been so much easier then. But you know, like it's just so enjoyable and so exciting and so wonderful to wake up every day and think, oh, today I can do this. What can I do today to offer my customers? What can I do next month? You know, to grow sales. It's an amazing excitement and adrenaline rush. You know, it's wonderful.
Do you miss it?
No, not really. You know, when I made the decision, like I didn't want to miss anything. So, you know, it's everything is in life is perfectly timed always, and as it should be. And it was a decision I made, and which I thought about a lot before, of course, doing it. And it's I do have the memories and, you know, all the things. And then after that, I did some, you know, stores and the retail with Embark and, you know, all that as well, up until COVID. And then I kind of scaled down after that. So, you know, I've done a lot in life. So.
That's really important, actually, what you just said about you have to move with the times. You got to ebb and flow. And scaling down doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, you know, I failed at something. It's like you just have to move with that time, right? But there's this idea of like, oh no, if I have to close down a store because we have to make something work, it's just you making a choice to move forward as opposed to get into a standstill and kind of.
Yeah, I think it's all about adjustment and you know, change. You know, as humans, we're not comfortable with change. We like to be to do what we're familiar with, to do what we know, and to make big changes is very very hard for many. And of course, I made a very big change. So, you have to be ready for that mentally. And
fair enough. And so you exit, you obviously sell to Soft Logic at that time, close down out of Odell, and then you get into with Embark.
Yeah, right? I mean, I was already doing Embark because Embark started in 2007 while I was in Odell. So it started because because of my love for animals and the environment and, my biology, and my intention was always to do something working with animals. And then, of course,
when you were at Ohio State, you were like,
since my childhood, actually. Nice. And then when it took a different turn, then it was like, how do I still do that? And then run the business also. So like from the very beginning, I used to do, campaigns of, like golf fest cleanup and tree planting. And this was like in the 80s. And so many things like that. And I kept doing that through Odell, because obviously then when Odell grew, the platform got larger and larger. It's a huge base of people that I could communicate to. And we used to do like really big campaigns, but then eventually it came to a point where I was doing a lot of things, but not really making an impact in any one area. And that was the decision then, to think, which area what would I really like to make a big impact in, or what can I change? And that's how Embark was born.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then obviously, I've seen the billboards of Nico, and like that was like the brand, the face of the brand of Embark. And how did you encounter Nico?
Coincidentally, even though there are no coincidences, at the same time, like we found this pup down the road where we lived. I was building my house, and we lived temporarily in Velavata, and the puppy was on the road. Aww. And then, it was a time where I wasn't really picking up dogs and taking them, but I had just started Embark.
Right.
And then, I saw the pup, and then we were going back and forth, and then my son said, "Oh, let's pick him up." And then I said, "Okay, fine, let's pick him up, and then we will, I'll keep him, and then I'll find a home for him." And then, of course, he never left. And then he became the face of the brand. And then, of course, it was then Bandit came along and Rosie came along.
That one of the things in Sri Lanka, I feel like we all love dogs, but it's not the most pet friendly. I mean, I've never. I mean, now I'm able to take my dog to certain cafes, and like the cafe's like, "You bought our dog," and they get really excited that you bring your dog, but it's still not part of our culture. Is that something that you would have loved to see at some point, or change the way we?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, of course, I think over the years, a lot of change has happened, especially to do with the community dogs and all animals. But yes, there is a slight disconnect still of, for one thing, about the caging and chaining of dogs. It's far too common than it should be, and people just don't realize how bad and wrong it is. And of course, I see a lot of it in the work I do, and that goes to other animals as well. And then this thing of pets are not allowed and dogs are not allowed, and don't do this with them, and you can't bring them, you can't do this. And you go to other countries, and they and nobody's bothered, right? They know all the cafes and all the restaurants, and there's bowls for them of water, and but you do still see that change in the south, in the south, and also like in Arugambe, and where they are almost like obviously I go to Hiruketia, and even I was in Ahangama yesterday before. So in those areas, the dogs are inside the restaurants and the cafes, and so there's a huge change, and it's very different. And they are well taken care of, and so there is change happening, but funnily enough, in the city, in Colombo, it's not as much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's a human component that we need to fix. Because, like, for example, even if I take my beagle for a walk every morning, and I used to actually live around here on Timbergasa Road, and I would take my dog for a walk, and she's cool with, street dogs. They come up, they're like, "What's up?" And she's like, "Hi." But I meet another owner walking a dog, and all of a sudden there's like tension on the leash. And then I realize, oh, maybe the owner doesn't understand how to let two dogs connect. And so I feel like even with taking care of a dog, I feel like that educational component needs to be there. Is that what you've seen? Like maybe it's more owners also taking responsibility of like, hey, maybe the dog culture can change if owners actually bring their dog out a lot more.
Yeah, definitely. I think because it's rare, it's not common, and you're always, when you do bring a dog out, also you're always tense, right? Don't know who'll say what, or who won't be so friendly, and somebody won't like it, or, so that, I think that sort of slight fear is also there, so I think because that it's not like sort of normal culture. I mean, a normal thing that just happens freely. You come up with all this sort of slight disconnection and stiffness, like that happens. But definitely it's evolving.
Yeah. You've obviously since Embark has been there, I mean, you've saved and facilitated, tons of dogs finding new homes. You've rescued them. Have you seen like the numbers decline in terms of like you rescuing dogs, or has it like just been increasing up?
Unfortunately, it's increasing. Because as the awareness grows, which is a lot of it is also created by me, but then it all comes through me as well. But part of the awareness and the advocacy is also for people to do their own thing, and I think definitely people have changed in sort of caring more, and people will call now if they see an injured dog, or some people will help themselves, of course. So it's definitely changed. But then with that also comes, oh my God, I want to help this dog. Please, can you come and help? So like it's some days are just really challenging in the numbers, because it's just a small, it's just a little organization, and it's limited what we also can do. And it's really important for people, as not only with dogs, as with anything, to bring greater change, is for everybody to do their part, And whereas I may rescue so many a week, someone else can just do one, like one in 6 months or something, or one a year, or one that they encounter. Then it's just one less that we have to, because sometimes unfortunately we can't go, like we can't make it. But I mean, definitely there's been a shift for people to do more and care more. They feed more, and definitely it's changed.
Has there been support from the government at all with Embark, kind of with all of your initiatives that you've taken and done within the country? Has the government ever looked at it and be like, hey, maybe we can actually support and create some sort of...
No, I mean, I've worked with different departments and over the years. Lately, I've scaled down quite a bit, so I don't do a lot of the programs that I used to do out of Colombo and things. But I've worked with lots of departments and different organizations, and it's I mean, we do the work. We go and do the treatment programs of the clinics, or just because we do our part to support.
Whenever I think of like obviously a service dog, I've seen when you go into a hotel, there's a dog sniffing around, and that's the only time I see like a service dog. But I've never really seen people kind of like adopt the culture of like having a service dog with you, whether if you have a certain issue. I mean, dogs are obviously known to help with certain things like that. Is there a way for us to get to that point here in Sri Lanka? Because I've never seen one utilize or have that partnership with a person.
I think some people do. Like even somebody called me last week and said they brought their support dog with them from, of course it was from overseas. But, but anyway, they wanted some advice on something. But so yeah, it's not a it's not a big thing. Yeah, but definitely dogs and all animals help with our making us more peaceful and calm and loving and caring. And it really helps us, Absolutely. Internally, and because that's the disconnect we have, right? Not just Sri Lanka, but overall, this whole disconnect with the environment and animals.
Yes.
And of course, we need to, because there's no separation really. We're all one. We're just one species in the in the whole cycle.
I love that.
So we need to stop thinking of ourselves as superior and different, and not having empathy to understand how they feel, how the captive animals feel. Captivity for me is really a big thing where I think it's so much of it has to change. And again, not only Sri Lanka but everywhere. I think changing that will change a lot in us as well.
Yeah, because when I look at Sri Lanka's law, I was talking to a few friends that were also, working on something that they wanted to have the government change this law that's been there since like 1800 something. Yeah. And then the animal welfare bill since 1907 hasn't been changed, correct? And then you are currently working on getting that change. Did it work? Is it moving forward?
It was in about 10 years ago. It was a group of sort of animal welfare lawyers and another group who were very active at that time, even before, I think, maybe 12, 14 years ago. They had started, doing the new bill and, trying to push it. And so I joined much later because obviously I was in ODEL and I was not involved. So I was just supporting to see how they could push it through. And over the years, there were different changes they had to do and different ways they were trying to get it passed. But unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. I feel like that's like a recurring theme that, that you get people that are putting in the time to make change, but it always stops somewhere when it comes to that specific government level. But hopefully I have high hopes that a lot of things will move forward this season. This is really interesting when they sent me this. The horticultural, I've never seen or heard of anyone being named after a flower. Or a flower named after you. How did that come about? Did they reach out to you and be like, hey, by the way, we love what you're doing. We want to name a flower after you?
Yeah, it was an orchid.
Oh, so cool.
And when was it? Like 2000, not sure, maybe 10 or so, somewhere around then. That was the orchid. I think there's an association or something. They wanted to name one of the new flowers after plants, after species of plants after me. And it was great.
Do you have those in your house right now?
No, I don't, unfortunately. And also I don't know what happened actually, if it's still there or if it never sort of expanded. I'm not sure, because also those organizations, I think there's been change, and those people who are there are not there anymore. And I did try to reach out a couple of years ago to see what was happening, but I couldn't get much information and couldn't find the right people who would tell me what happened. Or,
but that would have been such a cool business card. Like, you don't even need to send it. You don't even need to have a card on Christmas. Like, if you're sending flowers or orchids to somebody, be like, oh, Otara sent these. Oh, so nice.
Yeah. If you Google it, it's there.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And the photos are there as well.
That's exciting. One of the core memories for me, again, is like going into ODEL. I believe I don't know if this was the first escalator in the country. Was it? It was.
No, it wasn't the first.
Yeah.
The first was supposed to be in Sri Lanka, I think.
Okay.
And then this was like the second, I think.
Like, oh, and I mean, I guess this was the one that
third,
everyone
I'm
connected
not sure.
to.
Yeah. So anyway, it was still very, very early days in escalators.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's exactly second or third or.
Yeah.
But definitely in the top 5.
Top 5. Claim it.
Yeah.
And I remember taking that escalator up, and I think it was a fashion show of sorts that was like down that main
middle,
area, the middle. And that was like a recurring thing. Every time you launched a campaign, you would have these fashion shows. I remember specifically, and if memory serves me right, that it used to be a lot of Sri Lankan models on the runway, right? Yeah. Why was that important to you to have representation from Sri Lankan models specifically?
At that time, well, I mean, I guess it was, because we used to have them very frequently. So, I mean, we didn't really have access to non-Sri Lankan models. It was always sort of this, which is what I was. I mean, I was also one of the models before I had my own shows. But there were a lot of models, like a lot of models, male and female, so yeah, it was. We used to always choose from here. But of course, when I did the campaigns, it was a mix. I would bring models from overseas down as well, plus have models from here. And it's just it just depends on the look of the time, the visual you want to create. It wasn't really about how do I pick them, so it just depends on what your theme is, or what sort of a idea you have, and the sort of visual you want to create for that particular campaign or year or season.
When I think about like what goes on to the mainstream now, it's really cool because there's a lot of people that can connect with the images that they see on a billboard or on a campaign, because they're looking at, oh my God, that's a Sri Lankan face. Like that means I could potentially do that. And the standard of beauty also is like set up in a way where Sri Lankans actually feel that they're beautiful when they see a brown face or a light brown face or whatever it is. And I feel like that is it's intentional now. Like people are starting to put more local faces on there and really raise the standard of beauty, where, light skin isn't the thing that we want to ideally look up to. Because I understand that Fair and Lovely used to be like a salutation thing, right? Everyone talks about that. And so anyways, for me, it was like the cool thing was I was like, oh my God, there's a Sri Lankan lady walking the ramp. Because all I know of fashion was like seeing it in Europe. And,
right.
You know what I mean? So that was really, really neat. When you decided to, are you still full-time with Embark?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'm still really busy here. And every time I try to step away, I get sucked back in.
Yeah.
Because the calls keep coming and I see those faces. And one of the biggest things I want to do and like to do is there are a lot of dogs that are injured and they can't walk. And even sometimes a lot of people try, for one thing, a lot of people can't afford unfortunately the treatment. If not, actually, we probably won't get so many calls because they're obviously in areas where, one, they don't have access to good vet care, and then also sometimes they can't afford it, and sometimes even if they try, they're not able to get the dogs to walk. And so that's what I really like to focus on now. I mean, of course, we do a lot of the other rescuing of the injured as well, but there's a lot of dogs who get hit by a vehicle or something and then they can't walk. And despite the people trying really hard, they're not able to, to get them to walk. So even we do it all the time, but last week as well, there was a dog somewhere near Nigambo, and they had tried for like 2-3 months and they couldn't get the dog to walk. And then they called us after them trying. So yeah, we took the dog and he's already walking. So yeah, it's kind of a special sort of a skill and treatment program that helps them to get up again and to walk. So Of course, there are certain cases where they can't, but the majority can, and it's that part is wonderful to do.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love seeing whenever like people don't give up on dogs, because I like where I walk my dog today, I see my neighbors, they have a dog that I think he's lost both of his back legs, so he's got a little wheelchair, like a dog chair, right, which is really cute, and he's so sweet, such a sweet dog. It's really cool to see people not giving up, which I think is so. It's something that I think over time has just been developed with what Embark has been doing. People are actually starting to say, oh my God, you know what? Maybe we could actually save the dog, or we could put in a little bit of extra time and really give back to the creature that brings a lot of love.
So yeah, it's still pretty much full time, and I have a very small team, and some of the elements I used to, the areas where I used to focus on before, I don't do anymore. But like treating the injured is what we do. The puppy adoption also I don't do anymore, in the sense of having the adoption days. We used to do it all the time.
Yeah. That's a good market as well, right? You used to have little pop-ups.
Yeah, over the years we've found homes for about 7,000.
Amazing.
And good homes. And but because you have to do the follow-ups, you have to make sure that the dog is doing okay in the homes. Sometimes we have to bring them back, that they're not caged, that the main rule is that they're not caged or not chained, and they're part of a home, like a family, or somebody who, where they're free and they're cared for. So yeah, I don't do the adoption days anymore, but we have found homes recently for a few. It's very challenging now to find good homes, and a lot of people have also, they're moving out of Sri Lanka, or their lifestyle is such that they don't want a dog. So many things. So it dropped a lot, and it was very stressful to find homes.
Is that process like, relocating a dog to another country, if people are leaving Sri Lanka, or if somebody that's adopted a dog is leaving Sri Lanka, is that a lengthy process to go through? Like, yeah,
it is, because there are a lot of tests and things. We don't do it, but there are other people who do. And of course now there are other people who do it as professionally as well, which wasn't there before. But yeah, a lot of people have taken a dog that they've rescued here overseas, or a puppy they've found. I don't think it's in huge scale, but it does happen.
It's starting to make like some sort of, there's some change coming, which is good. What is an ideal? Okay, this one's good, because I love your dogs, the photos of your dogs that I used to have in the calendars. Cool. Is there anything that we should be looking forward to in 2026 from Embark, that maybe people that they're interested in getting involved in helping out and connecting with your organization? How could they do that?
We're selling the Embark calendar.
Ooh, good.
Even though we don't have very many left, but we still have the calendar, which so many people love, and they wait for it to get it every year. Some people have actually sent me photos of all the calendars over the years. It's wonderful, actually. Every year they've collected it and sent me a photo. So yeah, we're doing that, and then we just continue with the rescues and things. Like I said, I've scaled down quite a bit, so I don't do the sort of going out of town and doing the big programs and stuff that much anymore at all. But like I said earlier, it's really best to the only way you can help out, which I think you can help out, and what I would request to help is to please help yourself, to please help at least one dog, at least one puppy, without calling us, because it's a lot. A lot of people want to help, and they just all want to call us, and it gets very challenging. And actually, sometimes, as I said, we can't reach out to everyone, and then that sadly that dog doesn't get help, or the puppy won't get help. And it's not hard, to do what I do. I don't have some superpower that others don't have. Everyone has the ability to do what I do. And like I said, everybody doesn't have to choose, to do it every day. But it's our duty to help our community animals. all forms of all types of community animals and all animals. So that we can live in great harmony and with happiness. And the more all beings live happily, the greater happiness and wealth for us too.
Absolutely. I love that. Otara Gunewardene, thank you for being here on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.